Brazilian Top Team. The Brazilian Top Team (BTT) is an academy specialized in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and mixed martial arts. It established in April 2000 by Murilo Bustamante, Ricardo Libório, Mário Sperry, and Roberto Duarte, former members of the Carlson Gracie Academy, to develop and create new training techniques for Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, submission grappling, and mixed martial arts. History. Brazilian Top Team has its origins with Carlson Gracie and his academy. Gracie was an innovator in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. He and his students had invented and refined many techniques and strategies in BJJ and fought in a very aggressive and physical style, achieving a lot of success in tournaments. His academy was also a mixed martial arts pioneer, one of the first academies to create a specialized MMA program, and many of his students went to represent BJJ in many MMA events around the world. However, there were disputes between Gracie and his students led to many branching off from his tutelage and founding their own academies. Murilo Bustamante, Ricardo Libório, Mário Sperry, and Roberto Duarte went to found in 2000 Brazilian Top Team with the objective of creating a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym and to train in the nascent sport of mixed martial arts. Around that era, BTT have produced some of the best Brazilian MMA fighters of all time. The team was compared to the Real Madrid soccer team around 2003 because of the number of good fighters the team had. In 2007, the Nogueira brothers Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira and Antonio Rogério Nogueira founded their own team, taking some BTT fighters with them. It split the power of the team at this time, but BTT kept building young fighters. Ricardo Arona and Paulo Filho followed their own way, but returned often to visit and train with the team at the BTT headquarters in Rio de Janeiro. Ricardo Libório left the team in 2002, moving to the U.S. to found American Top Team ATT with American entrepreneur Dan Lambert and his fellow BTT and Carlson Gracie black belts Marcus Conan Silveira and Marcelo Silveira. While they share similar names and founders, ATT was not created as an American branch of BTT, but as its own independent camp. ATT went to become one of the most successful MMA camps in the world. In any case, Bustamante and Libório kept their friendship since the beginning of the times in Carlson Gracie School until now. The team is growing with affiliates in Brazil, Canada, United States, Austria, Estonia, Australia, and Thailand. One of the biggest Muay Thai camps in Thailand, Tiger Muay Thai, is affiliated with BTT to represent the team in Asia. It enables BTT fighters to learn Muay Thai from the roots of Thailand, and Thai fighters learn the BJJ and MMA from one of the best teams of all time. Rivalry with Shootbox. BTT maintains an intense rivalry with Brazilian mixed martial arts stable Shootbox, which is descended from a Muay Thai lineage. BTT traces its lineage to the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu of Carlson Gracie. The most storied chapter of this rivalry was reached at the apex of each team's success in Pride FC. Shootbox was comprised, at the time, of such fighters as Wanderlei Silva and Shogun Rua and former UFC middleweight champion Anderson Silva. BTT consisted of top fighters such as Ricardo Arona, former UFC middleweight championship holder Murilo Bustamante, the Nogueira brothers Vitor Belfort, Alan Goes, Mário Sperry, and former WEC middleweight champion Paulo Filho. Competition between the two teams was not limited to Pride FC matches. Bouts between fighters of the two camps took place in Brazil, Portugal, the US, and other parts of the world on a regular basis. Locations. In April 2000, BTT inaugurated a new center in Brazil for training professional fighters in mixed martial arts. It provides teachers of Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, mixed martial arts, and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Other locations are Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Fabio Holanda opened Brazilian Top Team Canada and has trained prominent UFC fighters Patrick Cote and UFC welterweight champion Georges St. Pierre. Long Beach, California. Marcelo Perdomo, BJJ black belt, under BTT co-founder Murilo Bustamante opened Brazilian top team Long Beach in mid-Minus 2004. Tustin, California, Total MMA Studios, Juliano Prado and Adriano Nasal. Boston, Massachusetts in 2003 Jose Amaral and Daniel Gazzoni opened Brazilian Top Team Boston, the first recognized BTT dojo in the United States. Boca Raton, Florida Jose Amaral. West Palm Beach, Florida Jose Amaral. Melbourne, Florida Edgar Dutra BJJ Black Belt. BTT Florida Cocoa Beach, Florida Satellite School in cooperation with Force Fitness Gym. San Antonio, Texas Diego Gamanal Noguera BJJ Black Belt, BTT Texas. Happy Valley, Oregon Gustavo Bessa BJJ Black Belt and professional MMA fighter, BTT Happy Valley, Happy Valley, Happy Valley. Phuket, Thailand Tiger Muay Thai, Fernando Macachero BJJ Black Belt. Austin, Texas BTT Austin. Charlotte, North Carolina BTT Charlotte. Richardson, Texas BTT North Dallas. Leonardo Machado. Tallinn, Estonia BTT Estonia. Sergio de Andrade Cabral. Jacksonville, Florida Marcelo Salazar. Humboldt, Texas Darren McCall 3rd degree black belt. Hamilton, Bermuda Marcos Tulio, 3rd degree black belt. Lake Jackson, Texas Fernando Haffeld. Cambridge, UK Leonardo Damara, 4th degree black belt. Evergreen, CO David Roberts, 1st degree black belt. Fullerton, CA Jason Jose Baxter, 3rd degree black belt. Wien, Austria Fernando Polon 4th degree black belt. Notable fighters: Vitor Belfort, former UFC light heavyweight champion, former competitor for UFC, former competitor for Pride FC, former competitor for Affliction. David Bielkedden, former competitor for UFC. Murilo Bustamante, former UFC middleweight champion and Pride FC welterweight Grand Prix finalist, former competitor for UFC and Pride FC. Patrick Cote, competitor for UFC. Paulo Filho, former competitor for Pride FC, former WEC middleweight champion, current competitor for Dream. Alan Goes, former competitor for Pride FC, former competitor for UFC, former competitor for IFL. Ikue Hisamino, a former competitor for Pride FC, Dream Super Hulk Openweight Grand Prix champion. Antonio Rodrigo Noguera, former Pride FC heavyweight champion, former interim heavyweight champion for UFC. Antonio Rogerio Noguera, former competitor for Pride FC, former competitor for Affliction. Rausimer Palhares, former WSOF welterweight champion. Fernando Polon, former competitor Cage Fight Live. Marcelo Salazar, former competitor for IFL. Antonio Silva, former heavyweight champion for Elite XC, competitor for UFC, former competitor for Strikeforce or Force. Mario Sperry, former competitor for Pride FC. Milton Vieira, competitor for UFC. Ricardo Arana, competitor for Pride. Henrique Chocolate Noguera, competitor for Cage Rage and Cage Warriors. Celso Rollum Jr., former competitor for TFC, MFC and XFG.